Hey there, Tomato Heads. Happy Thursday. I'm Lauren, Mrs. Tomato Head. Welcome. It always seems like such a long time in between weeks, and it actually hasn't been a full week for those of you that watched Tomato Talk Live with Jen and I last Friday. It's only 6 days, but you know, I was going to say there was a time where I would have thought you were crazy if I told you that I would be talking weekly about tomatoes for 3 hours. I probably still would have thought you were crazy. I mean, we've grown tomatoes for 30 years. I often say this poster was hanging in our kitchen back in the late 90s. So we've always loved tomatoes, but like to this magnitude, I'm not really sure. But what's even more surprising is that there's so many of you out there who like to contribute with me. I don't like to say watch me because it's an interactive show. But anyway, this is Lawrence Tomato Awesome Sauce. For those of you watching for the first time, hello, welcome. You are about to embark on a journey into tomato obsession, just like immersed into tomatoes and, tomatoes as a whole, of course. And I've got many interesting varieties to talk about today, but one in particular that's a bit off the beaten track, and I'll explain when we get there. But anything having to do with tomatoes. I come to you live because I like doing it interactive and including you all in the conversation. And I try to get as many comments on the screen as possible. So please feel free, add in any questions you might have, thoughts, whatever. This is our show, not my show. Sathi is here. Tomato Head's busy day harvesting everything, as I'll have lows of 27 for a couple of nights. I think so many of us are experiencing the same thing, with the exception for those of us on the other side of the world, and I have friends in Australia and New Zealand who are just getting started. I shared in the group. By the way, if you're not a member of the group, please join us. It's called Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. We're a true tomato collective. We're so much more than a seed swap group. That is a small part of what we do, but we're all about learning and sharing info and recipes and pretty much anything to do with tomatoes. So if you're not a member, even if you're not on Facebook, join Facebook just to be a part of our collective. It is worth it. And we've had many people who they left Facebook years ago because they were just so over it. I kind of agree. I'm over it too, except for the groups. And this is a good one. So hope you can join us. But I was saying in the group a couple days ago that I'm in Western New Jersey, almost Pennsylvania. Excuse me. And we had our first frost advisory. I think it was 3 nights ago. So I picked everything, and we had a lot of peppers too, because my peppers were very late. I guess they're kind of always late. Lots of green ones, of course, but when you wait to ripen until they're like red or what they're supposed to ripen until, it takes a while where I am. So I picked a painful amount of green peppers, and I still had lots and lots of tomatoes on my plant. It's been a great year. So do all that, posted a picture in the group, wake up the next morning, no frost. We had another one the night after. Frost advisory. Wake up, nothing. And I'm looking at the 10-day forecast, and it's supposed to be like 70 degrees Fahrenheit next week for a couple days. So I'm like, could have kept these things on the vine. But alas, this morning I wake up, there is frost. It was 27 degrees Fahrenheit, as a matter of fact, Sathya. But it must have been just a light frost because my plants are still alive and kicking. It was just a matter of time. And oddly enough, the first frost advisory came like on the day of our average first frost, which is October 15th. So there's been a lot of posts and comments in the group about people harvesting. If you're one of those that has just harvested everything, say something in the comments and we can talk about it. Here's Missy, just harvested all mine this week. We went from frost warning to freeze warning. Interesting. Haven't had that yet. It was painful waking up to 27 degrees this morning, not just because it's cold, but I'm one of those people. I'm such a tomato head. Like, I love the fall, but I kind of don't. because for me, the fall is the end of tomato. Well, I have fall tomatoes, but like towards, mid-fall like it is now, it's the end of tomatoes. I guess it's not really mid-fall, is it? We're only a month in, whatever. It means the end of tomatoes. It means the end of sweet corn. We here in New Jersey, we're known for our Jersey corn, and I've got a great farm down the street. They know me well. And I get big burlap bags full of their sweet corn this time of year. Dozens, like 7 dozen or something like that. I chuck it, of course. I steam it, cut it off the cob, put it in the freezer to last me throughout the year. It's great and chili and all that stuff because it's that good. And then, of course, all my other vegetables. Still have carrots in the ground, which they're supposed to be better with frost. Potatoes still, but I don't know. I just love summer so much and the abundance that comes with it. I don't have great luck with crops that like fall crops like cabbage, and I do grow a particular kale, scarlet kale, that the cabbage worms don't bother because it's scarlet and they like to blend in with the green. But other than that, it hurts. So I'm not a pumpkin spice girl because I'm digging my heels in. I don't want fall. I want summer, forever summer. But if it was forever summer, then we wouldn't have an opportunity to, kind of rest, save our seeds, give out our seeds, and dream of the next season. And I hope that this show, if you don't have a notebook and a pen, you'll probably want to. I say that every week, but today I think you're really going to want to. Let's get back to some comments. Hey, Jamie, glad you're here. Rowena's here. Thanks for joining us. Our swamp bitch is here. Hello, tomato family. Up Garden Girl, you reminded me. If it's your first time watching, even if it's not, you need a reminder. Type in #tomato. I do have, if you watched the show with Craig LeHoullier last Friday, and I'll talk about that in a minute, I do have an alternative to the EvMux giveaway tool. So we will have giveaways. Let me just make sure it's registering. Yep, it's registering. Oh, tons of people already. Hang on. Okay. So yeah, make no mistake, just type in #tomato and I will give out 5 packs of seeds today. Samantha's here. Hi, Samantha. Glad you're here. Tara Dove, good afternoon, all tomato heads. Why don't you guys, I tell you week after week what varieties I'm obsessed with at the moment this week. If you guys have anything that you're obsessed with this week or recently, drop it in the comments. We can do that. Whether or not you have it already or not. Catherine Jones is here. Hi there. Amy D. Hi, everybody. And our friend Sherman's here. Hi, Sherman. Kelly. Hi there. Hey, everyone, she says. Deb's here. My friend Deb. We just did another one of our epic trades, which makes me happy. Sandra B is here. Sandra B, I think I say this every week, but every time I see your name, I break out into song. Look at me, I'm Sandra B. Lousy with virginity. Won't go. You know what I'm talking about from Greece. Like your name, though. Hey, my buddy's here, Den Joy. She set her alarm today. Glad you're here, Den. Drew's here, still harvesting here in Northwest Missouri. Lucky you. I'd still be I wouldn't still be harvesting. Funny enough, I mentioned I picked everything. I picked all the green stuff off. All the green stuff that was of, full size. And Craig LeHoullier, I said I was going to go back and talk to it. So if you didn't watch Tomato Talk Live last Friday with Jen and I, you want to go back and watch this episode. It is the 3rd appearance of our friend Craig LeHoullier, Dwarf Tomato Project, co-founder and author of Epic Tomatoes and Gardening in Straw Bales, of course. He is just amazing. Every episode with him is a classic because I don't even know how to describe it, but I know if you guys have watched, you know what I'm talking about. You could just listen to him talk all day, really. 90 minutes is not long enough. and third appearance is not enough. He's just so accessible. He makes so much sense. He doesn't talk down to anyone. And here's the big news if you didn't miss it. He's doing a project where he's crossing Sun Gold, which is a cherry, a classic cherry. It's an F1 hybrid cherry that a lot of people claim it's their favorite cherry of all time, very sweet. He's crossing that with one of my favorite of all time, and it's one of his too, Captain Lucky. And I think it's just at F1, but he offered exclusively to members of Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap, because he said we're the only group he's aligned with. Yeah, yes. To drop him an email, and if you would like to help with the grow out. I don't know if I still have his email address in the banners or not. No, it's a different studio. If you need his email address, please private message me after the episode. I'll be happy to give it to you. But what an opportunity. What an opportunity. And you would think, with it only being an F1, maybe it's an F2, but I think, no, I'm pretty sure. Was it an F1, Jen, or anybody else who watched? Very young. So you would think that he wouldn't want to offer it out yet, but yet he's looking for our help. And so I know he got inundated with emails, and I don't know. It's just another example of why he's so awesome sauce. If there's got to be a king of tomatoes, and he's a great one to have. Just such a nice guy. And it makes me want to love tomatoes even more and honor each variety even more, which is what I like to bring you every Thursday. Satya says like and subscribe. Thank you. Yeah, once I hit 1,000 members, thanks to Jen's daughter, Jade. Thank you, Jen and Jade. Yeah, we're growing a little bit. I'm amazed that people want to listen and talk about tomatoes for so long. Not really. Why should I be amazed? I want to talk about tomatoes that long. You guys hang out. Most of the time, I can't see where people are watching from. Actually, yes, I can. I can't see who's watching on Instagram. And by the way, if you're watching on Instagram, we cut off at 1 hour long each week because Instagram does not allow for longer than that. So if you want to continue watching the episodes, because trust me, they do go after 1 hour, just join me on my YouTube channel, which is Mr. and Mrs. Tomato Head. But what I was going to say, I can see, other than Instagram, how many are watching. And I can't see like who, unless you comment, I can't see who. But it grows and grows. So by the time 3 hours comes around, it's usually at like the high. You would think people get sick of it after like an hour and a half, but no, it just keeps growing and growing. So, and that's not just this show, it's Tomato Talk Live. Also, Jen and I are very humbled and grateful that you guys like to take part in that too. Where were we? So thank you, Deb, for like and subscribe. Sandra B, still harvesting here in Iowa. Sorry I sing your name so badly, by the way, Sandra. I can't help it. Start harvesting here in Iowa, 5B. Those of you that are down in like Florida who've done fall tomatoes, or maybe California, down in the southern regions, how are your fall tomatoes going? When do you start them? Are you just getting tomatoes now? I know Cindy C, our friend from the Philippines who's in the group, she's talking about starting right around now. So, it's kind of exciting. We have members in the group from all over the world. Again, here's the group, Tomato Lovers. Here it is, Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. It's a bummer when our own tomatoes are done, but it's really exciting seeing everybody else growing and harvesting too. So we get to enjoy it all year round. And if you're doing Micro-palooza in the group, you'll get to enjoy micro-dwarfs indoors in the winter. Speaking of micros, I have to show you guys something really cool. I've showed this just about every week. This is my latest micro cross, which is Candyberry and Tiny Totem. I showed it last week. I think I showed it the week before because I'm super excited about it. They're starting to ripen. Let me show you. See? You can see one in here, a couple in there. So excited. Maybe I'll taste it on next week's show. So they have like the glossy look of candyberry, which is one of my all-time favorite micros, in the top 3, that's for sure. They're very, very sweet. And so I crossed it with Tiny Totem, which is also a micro, but it's got larger beefsteaks, also tastes good. Not as sweet as candyberry. And I wasn't sure what I was looking for with it, other than I wanted something a little bigger than candyberry because they're very small, still short in height. And hopefully the taste is good, like as sweet as candyberry. So super excited. I keep watching it. Like, when is it going to be ready? I don't know if I can hold off on tasting it until next Thursday. What I might do is take a ripe one off, start the next generation. This is F2 F2? Yeah, F2 generation. I might get a jump start on starting the next generation without tasting it, but then I'll wait to taste it until next week because it's not fun without you guys. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to call this one. Don't know. If you have ideas on what I mean, really, you shouldn't be naming a micro or any tomato for that matter at this young of an age, because where this one comes out, now the next generation, I'm sorry, this is not an F2, it's an F1. This is the first. So I crossed the plants. The candyberry was the mother plant. Put the pollen for Tiny Totem on that. And then this is what came. So I saved a fruit from there, one of the fruits that I pollinated, saved the seeds from one of the fruits, started those, and that's what this is. So this is the F1. So it's very young. And F1s will always grow out to be the same. F2s, the next generation, which is where I'm at with all my drop the micros, that's where all the different traits will come out. So I could grow like 10 of what I've got here, and I do have 3. They'd all be the same. F2 is not going to be the same thing, but I'm excited to see what I've got. But yeah, I would love to hear any ideas on a new micro. I named my last one Drop the Micro, just because I thought of it. I thought it was like uber clever, and I wanted to like take the name. Okay, let's get back to I want to show that. And also I wanted to talk to you guys before I get to more comments about if you're in the group and you are participating in one of our grow outs. And if you're new, you wouldn't be able to participate because we did signups back in the spring. We've got my 2 teams are Jarsons and a Bill Yoder Fred Hempel group. And then Kina has ultra rare and Jen's Kazula and Longkeeper, I'm pretty sure. Kina's got ultra rare. What's the other one? I can't think of it right now. We have a missing grow out. I'll think of it in a minute. If you are a member of those and you haven't sent your seeds in to your team member yet, please make sure you do it ASAP if you can. If you cannot, please talk to your team leader, either Jen, Kina, or myself. And, we can talk it through, explain why. Maybe you need a little bit of extra time. It's been a rough year for people. I've had a number of people have to drop out because they just couldn't get their things going. It happens. Some people have offered to send in other rare varieties in its place, depending on the situation, that might work. But if you haven't been in touch with your captain or whatever you want to call us, and you don't have seeds, please let us know. We really, honestly, hopefully you've done that by now, because we have to make up for it. Everybody has sent their money in, and we ideally wanted everything in by November 1st. So that's only like 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away. So please send those in. And if you have any more questions, you can just, write to Kina, Jen, or me. What the heck is that other? Oh, variegated. Variegated. That's the one. Kina's got ultra rare and variegated. We're learning from this first time out with these grow outs, and we have some thoughts on how we can improve on it for next year. So if you're new, maybe you can take place next year. Let's get back to comments. Justin Arnold, good morning, you all. Good morning, Justin. Jen says, I'm looking beautiful. Thank you so much, my friend. And Andrea Ruiz, I am loving this learning journey. Me too. I learned so much from doing research for the show. If you've ever traded with me before, or if you've ever won a prize from me and you got a chance to look at my spreadsheet, you know that I take research on tomatoes very seriously. It's not good enough for me to have just a picture and a name. I need to know as much about the variety as possible, if possible. I mean, there's some that make me crazy. There's just no information out there. But then, I talked about one last week, a really special one I got from North Carolina called Hazel Creek from my friend Mike, who I'm not going to say his last name, but it's never been for sale. It's a family variety that's supposed to be the best red that he's ever had. You're not going to find anything on the internet about that, but he did provide me with the backstory, so I'm appreciative of that. And there's some that are for sale, and you just, they try to find the history and the backstory, and there just is none. And it's not for lack of trying and doing research, that is for sure, because I sure try. But I like to keep the stories alive with each variety. And that's part of what the show is about, too, just so we can not only salivate over the pictures, but also learn a little bit about the tomato. We can learn a little bit about, how we've evolved in our growing of tomatoes over the years. If I'm trying to think of what. Yeah, we've got a couple interesting ones today with interesting stories. Two that I can think of that have a great history. A lot of them are new that I have not grown yet that I'm going to show today. It's 9 varieties, but if you know me, you know it can take a while to get through 9. And I'm talking about 2, I think 3 that I grew this past season that I want to share with you guys about. Sathya says, yep, the season is over. It is. Somebody play taps. Heidi's here. Hi, Heidi. Glad you're here. Did you get frost this morning, my friend? Heidi's only like 15 minutes from me. I'm assuming you did too. Tamira's here. Hi, Tomato Friend. She says, hi there, Tamira. Thanks for being here. Lisa Lloyd's here. Hello, hello. Thanks for joining us. Sathya says, yeah, I'm going to try and bring the pepper pots in the laundry room and try and overwinter some of them. Funny you say that. I'm going to go get it. I haven't had the greatest luck growing peppers indoors because they get very buggy for me. But I have a pot that I started outside that's just not ready yet. Hang on one sec. Let me grab it. So I've got 2 varieties in this pot. And look, clearly there's nothing else coming off of these. There's no flowers or anything like that. These are pumpkin pepper sweet gold and pumpkin pepper sweet red. And I probably could have just picked them off and be done with it. But I wanted to give it some more time on the vine. It's a small pot. These are F1 varieties. I think I got from Totally Tomatoes. Did I? Yes, I did. So again, they're supposed to look like little pumpkins. Sort of. Let's see. Yeah, I could see that. Pumpkin pepper, sweet gold, pumpkin pepper, sweet red. I think there might be an orange also. I decided to bring this inside for the heck of it. I do have 2 pepper plants I started for Micro-dwarfs in Pepper Lovers Collective and Swap in my hydroponic unit. And I'm going to try to stay on top of the bugs. But I know many people, and what you're talking about, Sophia, they'll bring in peppers and pots. And from what I understand, I don't know peppers like I do tomatoes, but you can like really cut it back to the stump and overwinter them. That's fascinating to me. Maybe I'll have to learn more about that someday. All right, I'm 20 minutes behind. Yes, Lauren, I've experienced the same thing. I'm sorry. I wish I knew what you were talking about. Hating fall to come, I wonder? Or having to pick and no frost came. Maybe that's it. Jen, you haven't? Still no frost here yet. But tonight it says 32. I'm going to cover my pepper beds with plastic to see if I get another week from them. I totally thought you had said you did get your frost. Interesting. Somebody else I know, a member of my other group, Attitude of Gratitude with Chronic Pain, she's in West Virginia, but I'm not sure if I think she's like an hour from you. She said she's gotten a few frosts already. So I assumed you did too. Deb, frost this morning. I harvested yesterday and started ripping out plants today. I was telling Kina and Jen today that Kina was talking about ripping out her plants. Kina's in Norway. She's had a few frosts already. And I always have the intention to rip out my plants, and then time gets away with me, and then the ground's frozen, and then I end up not doing it until the spring. Do you guys know anything about this? I feel like I read somewhere from a tomato expert, if there is such a thing, that letting the tomato roots die in the ground is actually a good thing for the soil. Is there any truth to that? Don't take my word for it. I'm just repeating what I think I heard. If so, I do well, because I do intend to rip them out. If I have a plant that's really not doing well, I'll yank it right out. I had a few of those this year. But yeah, I wonder. I mean, I hate looking at it all winter long. It's like the dead plants. It's like a reminder of the fact that it's winter and cold and yucky. I'd rather just rip them out and look at a clean slate and have dreams of what's to come. Jersey corn, best in the world. It really is. I think I've shared this before. I thought everybody had sweet corn, and I didn't even know it was called sweet corn. When we talk about corn in New Jersey, it's sweet corn. You buy it, you take it off the cob, you eat it on the cob, or I like to cut it off the cob and then eat it. I didn't realize that, I don't know what the percentage is, but the vast majority of corn grown in the United States is actually for feed, or like high fructose corn syrup and stuff like that. So I've had we had neighbors that used to live in New Jersey. They're now in Indiana, and they were saying how they miss Jersey sweet corn. And I'm like, well, you're in Indiana. Wouldn't you get corn? But it's not the same, I guess. Robin's here. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you. Make sure you guys type in #tomato. I do have a working giveaway tool. I haven't gotten it to work with EV Mux, but have a different thing I'm using in the meantime. EvMux, EV Mux, whatever it's called. Actually, very, very nice. The owner and the founder, one of them, has been offering to troubleshoot the giveaway tool with me. And I'll take them up on it, but I'd rather not do it during like an actual show. For those of you that help me out with a couple dummy shows I do testing out new things, I may have to call on you. So #tomato in the comments. Happy Thursday to you, Robin. Heidi says cabbage grew lots of leaves but no heads. Well, that's something you can put in salads and stuff. Hi, Brianna. Oh no, pumpkin spice life. It's not that I don't like it. I just have a resentment against it because it takes away my beloved tomatoes. Rowena, I picked a bunch of grapes and now I have grape juice. Might make some into jelly. That's fascinating. Wow. What kind of grapes are they? And do they have seeds in them? I assume they must. I've seen there's a YouTuber. You'll chuckle when I say his name, Jen. James Prigioni. He's a very big YouTuber. What's his channel? Garden State. No. Is it Garden State Gardener? No, I think it's Garden State Gardener. Yeah. He's the Jersey guy. He calls it a food forest. I mean, his gardens are beautiful. He's down in South New Jersey, about an hour and a half from me. He has like this trellis where he's grows these grapes with the grapes hanging down. It looks like Italy. Very, very jealous. I don't even know what's involved in that, but I'm pretty sure if I can't get, brassicas to grow other than kale, that's not going to do well for me. Tamira says, if it were forever summer, we wouldn't have time to organize all our seeds. You are absolutely right. You're right. And honestly, around this time of year, I'm starting to come out of it a little bit, but I'm tired. It's a lot with taking pictures, and I put my album up of all my indeterminates and my dwarfs. I put it up on my Mr. and Mrs. Tomato Head Facebook page last week. I take a lot of pictures because I'm a visual person. I like to remember, and I like to share with what I know or what I've experienced myself. But then saving seeds, and I save way too many seeds. I do. I should probably cut myself off, but I just can't do it. I love to share seeds. Hey, Kim from Scotland. Hey, Kim. My tomatoes and peppers are still ripening. I should have another month or so. Oh, under the polytunnel, but it's definitely cold overnight in there. Good for you that you've got a polytunnel. Marvin Brock is here. Hi, Marvin. I just planted 1,200 carrots 2 days ago, along with 6-inch starts of asparabrock. Is that asparagus and broccoli? Or is it supposed to be asparagus and broccoli? Cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, etc. Rob and I grew Brussels sprouts, I think 3 years ago. And it was fun. It was interesting. I didn't feel it was worth the effort for me. And the Brussels sprouts were very, very small. I love Brussels sprouts. Thankfully, that farm stand I love with the great corn, they grow Brussels sprouts, so I get from them all the time. And they have these massive right now. I like to eat organic or local. I kind of pick local first and then organic, believe it or not. These massive, massive heads. Heidi, you should find out about my farm stand. It's right down the street towards Route 31. Massive of clementine cauliflower, or an orange cauliflower, and purple cauliflower. Not that I haven't seen these before. Not that I haven't tried to grow them before. But, I mean, one head is like 3 heads you would get in the grocery store. $6 a head. So I'm there like constantly. Really, really good. All right, let me try to catch up with, it seems like every time I catch up with comments, then all of a sudden it shows me I'm 25 minutes behind. Hi, Pretty. Grow, Cookie, Repeat. Glad you're here. Sherva's here. Hi there, Sherva. Glad you're here. Yvette's here. Hi, Yvette. Thanks for watching. Teresa Begin is here. Hello. Thanks for being here. Garden Cat. Hello from Michigan. Hi, Garden Cat. Thanks for watching from Michigan. Andrea, totally in love with Bear Creek. What a lovely surprise. Was it Lucas Wallman asking about that in the group yesterday or today? Was it Bear Creek? I keep getting it confused. There's a lot of bear things. Bear Claw, Bear. I don't know. He was asking about Bear something, I think. Interesting. That's good to know. Gang, write that down in your notebook, because I'm pretty sure I have seeds. Going to have to look into this Bear Creek. Andrea, tell us what you loved about it. I'd love to hear more. I'm almost positive I have seeds for it. I have seeds for a lot of bear things, but I don't want to get confused. That's a nice surprise. Anybody else have a nice surprise this year? Put it in the comments. Christina G's here. Hi, Chris. Glad you're here. Robin liked Boca. I really liked the tang. Now, that's kind of a mini dwarf, right, Robin? Boca? You know who was asking me about Boca? Is Cindy C. from the Philippines, just a couple days ago. And I think I might have it on my micro mini spreadsheet, resource spreadsheet, Boca. I'd like to hear more about that too. That's really good to know. Brianna says, my current obsession is Earth Angel. I don't have it yet, unfortunately, but I must. I know somebody with Earth Angel seeds, just saying. Is a very, very pretty variety from Teresa at Terra Nova Farms. She just released it this year. Sandra B says, my obsession is watching my hydroponics. I love grease, so yeah, I do it myself. And Chris says, Bear Creek is such a stunning tomato. Gosh, I really, really wish that we could all share photos here in addition to the comments. Maybe someday. Marvin's responding to Sophia. They go fast. We eat a ton in the 4 to 5 inch size. Kids grab them like candy. I need to know more about this. Missy says Craig is a great storyteller. Yes, he is. He is. And when you look at his blog, I don't look at it often, but actually just for, I think, 2 things I'm talking about today, I looked at his blog. He really spends time to honor that variety and gives the entire story, which I think is really fantastic. Justin, still waiting for Craig's new book on the dwarf tomato project to come out. He's still working on it. It's not going to be soon. But I'm sure it will be epic, pun intended. Satya, what? I'd love that grow out. You missed that, huh? Yes. You can watch the episode back. I share Craig's email on the episode. Or you can reach out to me after the show and I'll give you his email address. Who wouldn't like that grow out? I mean, Sun Gold and Captain Lucky. What are the possibilities? Fantastic. Oh, good to know. Jamie says Craig also has a contact me option on his website. There you go. And Drew says our sweet potatoes did the best in hay bales. Good to know. Great. I think Craig may have mentioned that. Oh, hi, Mary. Haven't talked to you recently. Happy Awesome Sauce Thursday. I keep meaning to reach out to you, Mary, and ask you how B Times Macbeth is doing for you. I think you were the very first person I gave seeds to. As soon as that first one was ripe, I sent and dry. I sent them off to you. I hope they're doing well. Marvin says Craig is sending me seeds from his stash for Cherokee Purple. I think you mentioned this, Marvin, already. I think we talked about this. Was it on? No, it wouldn't have been on the show last week. I forget. I guess it must have been privately. For my 5 to 6 seed source experiment this coming spring. I'm excited about having his seeds true to form. Well, he's the guy that brought it into our orbit, Cherokee Purple. He's the guy. Sandra has a question. When doing grow outs, how many seeds do you grow on average for the best results without needing a 1/4 acre to grow them? I assume you mean plants. I know some groups specify that you need to have 2 plants and they keep having you send pictures in along the way. We did not opt to do that. Should we have? I don't know. The last thing we want to do is stress anybody out. It's been an awful year for so many people. I didn't duplicate any of mine that I'm growing specifically for the grow outs this year. It's a chance you take. I know some people who didn't have, theirs grow out for whatever reason, they went and purchased the seeds, which is awfully generous. But a lot of people, if you are worried about having enough or having a plant fail, 2 plants is always safe. We don't specify that. At least we didn't this year. I don't know if we will next year. Somehow I doubt it. But depends on the group you're in. But both of my teams have 15 members, or actually they're dropping a little bit, but sending in 16 packs of 10 seeds. That's it. I think Keena's may both have 15 too. I'm not sure, but just to get specifications for your team, make sure you reach out to your team member. If you haven't talked to them in a while, if you can't make it work, please just let us know sooner than later because we do need to plan for that. We just have a ton of fun here. It's always interesting. I'm glad to hear that. And Jen says, great news, Drew. Want to try sweet potatoes that way next year. It is good to know. We love your singing. Yeah. Have you been drinking, Brianna? Just saying. Teresa says, I'm in Sonoma County, Northern California, just getting ripe for my second harvest. Good for you. Good for you. And Idaho Garden Girl's here. Hello, glad you're here. Karen's here. Hi, Karen. Thanks for being here. Teresa says, Cherokee Purple Hearts just came in. Still have 8 on the plant. Very nice. Very nice. Karen says, your cross plant looks so big and healthy. Thank you. Yeah, the color on the foliage is starting to yellow a bit. That's pretty common when micros start to ripen and fruit. They don't look as, picture perfect as they once did, but that's just the plant putting all its energy into fruiting. Oh, I can't wait to taste this thing. I can't wait. It's got to be good, right? It's got to be good. I need the link for those grow bags. Are you talking about the ones I use, Mary? The ones I showed my micro in? Is this what you're talking about, these grow bags? These are, I can't get it right now. I'll try to put it in the, actually, maybe I can get it right now. It won't take long, right? They're Vivo Sun. I like them because they are tall. Some 1 gallon grow bags are short and squat. I like to get grow bags that are tall and thin because you don't bury the stem as much in micros as you do with regular tomatoes. Here they are. Hang on. This is what they are. Vivo Sun 5-pack 1 gallon grow bags. And these are new that have the Velcro on them in case you need to up-pot them. They also have a 2 gallon. But there's a few companies, like 3, a few companies that do these taller grow bags. Where do I get the link? I'll get the link and I'll put it in the comments. Just, it is an affiliate link. Not that I make a killing on these, but all right, I just put the link in the comments, I think. For only those on YouTube will get that. Hopefully that's what you're talking about, Mary. If it's not, I apologize for going off on that tangent. Oh, no, it did go to Facebook too. It won't go to Instagram. All right, where were we? Let me get back here. And I love those grow bags. And you can just wash them out when they're done and reuse them. Okay. Keena's reminding me. I eventually got a Keena variegated. Hi, Keena. Glad you're here. Nicole Smith is here. Hey there. Nicole Smith and Anthony Smith. Hey, Anthony. Glad you're here. Jamie really loves tomato research and stories too. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. It's fun, right? It's really interesting to find out the history of these things. Sometimes I get it wrong despite my best research, but if I do know that, I will always correct it. I would hate to be the source of misinformation when it comes to tomatoes. Sophia, when you overwinter, you don't grow peppers. You cut the plant down and nothing but bare main stems until spring. And so the point of that would be to have a mature plant in the spring. Yes, so you should get peppers earlier, or you just don't have to bother with starting from seed again. And do the harvests stay the same, get better? Are they not as good? I need to know. If you have followed me for a while, you know that I have a micro-dwarf plant, Vilma, my BFF, who has been alive since August of 2022. She's still alive. I won't lie. She's not looking that great. She's still alive. She's got green, but usually she bounces back a lot sooner after I prune her and give her fresh soil and all of that. I've got to tell you, when she dies, I'm going to be inconsolable because she's my girl. She's my girl. But the moral of the story is there are some micro-dwarf varieties that can live and live and live. I'm finding it. I have an old candyberry now, not 2 years old, but she's been alive since March. She continues to produce. I thought I was letting her die off, but she keeps getting flowers. Francis, I'll have to refrain from posting since my fall season is still growing strong. Thanks to y'all, I'm hiring my electrician friend to add overhead grow lights to my garage for overwintering plants. Excellent. Don't stop posting. We want to hear that. We absolutely want to hear that. We're very, very happy for you. Heidi, not good. Leaving stuff in the ground carries early blight on the stems over winter. Really? Interesting, because the person I think I heard it from is, nobody's really an expert. Craig says that. I maintain that also. I'll have to look into that. Thanks for your thoughts on that. But what if you cut it? What if you cut it down and just let the roots die? I think that may be what this person was saying. Cut off the plant, but let the roots die in the ground. I wish I could remember what the benefits were that this person said. Drew says, I leave a small stem in the ground as a no-till method, leaves the microbes undisturbed. I think that's exactly what I heard. And then Marvin, absolutely. The roots are straight nutrition for the soil life, like a small biosphere. Thank you, guys. And Jen, letting most roots decompose in the soil is helpful, and you don't disturb the microorganisms. I cut my plant at ground level. Groovy. Thank you, guys. And then Anthony, leaving roots helps with putting oxygen back in the soil. Thank you, guys. Well, there you go. We've all learned something new today. Well, some of us have. Mike from South Louisiana says, Tomato Eden sure has put a lot of new varieties on her site this month. Bridge over troubled water looks interesting. That's a variety that Kina had been looking for. Yes, believe me, Kina, Jen, and I refresh her page constantly. I do know she's away for a little holiday right now, so I wouldn't expect to see anything the next couple of days. Yeah, she's got a lot more. Stay tuned. She even named the tomato after my husband, Rob. There's going to be a leprechaun Rob coming out. I don't know if I've shared that yet or not. I had to explain to Rob that the leprechaun series is like a big deal. And the funny thing is he wears, when he comes down in the morning sometimes, he's had this really ugly Kelly green t-shirt. I don't even know what it's for, that he wears in the mornings or on the weekends in the mornings. And Rob and the kids and I call him Leprechaun. And that's how old the shirt is. The kids haven't been home for a while. So I didn't even make that connection when she said that she showed me a picture of this beautiful tomato. It was called Leprechaun Rob. She didn't say anything else. And I said, does that say Leprechaun Rob? And she said, yes. And I said, as in my Rob? And she said, yes. Couldn't believe it. She's just so thoughtful. Be on the lookout. And for a Jarson lover like me, she's adding Jarson upon Jarson upon Jarson. Jarsons I already have the numbers for. but perhaps hers look a little bit different because as the glorious Jarsons that they are, they, they're manifesting that they weren't stable when they came out, which adds to one of the breeders I'm talking about today. And even Tatiana Nagel herself, a lot of what she puts out on Tomato Eden are her experiments. And so she'll say they're F2, F3. So we can get different things. I say it all the time. As long as I know what the crosses are, I'm interested. I grew 3 Jarson 16s this year. They all came out different. Purple, gold bicolor, and green. Very, very cool. Shervis says, I've heard that. I never rip anything out until it's completely dried up. And Nicole's making grape jelly as we speak. Garden State Gardener is Joe. I thought that, and then I'm like, no. The Gardening Channel. That's what it is. James Prigioni's The Gardening Channel. Thank you. Andrew says, my kitchen and dining room have a very science experiment type right now. Deb says, is there such a thing as saving too many seeds? I don't think so. I do not think so. Because I think like, and even I haven't been able to participate in the group Seed Seeking Saturdays all that much, Stamp Game or whatever, because I'm so far behind in granting all of you wishes. I did make a good dent this week for some of you. When I look and I know what it's like to really, really want a variety. If somebody's got a variety that I grew that's really hard to find, I want to be able to give it to them. So I need to save 2,000 of those seeds. Marvin says, Haas Seeds has Aspa like rapini. Oh, okay. Very cool. So it's like a broccoli Rob type thing. Interesting. And Brianna Aspa is broccolini. Thank you. I have grown that successfully. I grew a lot of that last year. And it's really, really good. I love the bitterness of broccoli Rob. The leaves, love it. Malin, my girl, I harvested my first ever Malachitavaya Shkatulka or malachite box. What did you think? Have you eaten it yet? I always hope, because I'm like a cheerleader for my favorite varieties, I'm sure you guys have noticed, I always hope that I'm not getting your hopes up too much. Because honestly, we all have different taste buds, do we not? Like I love Coyote for a cherry. Jen did not like it. We have different taste buds. That's okay. If everybody liked the same varieties, that actually wouldn't really be fun. But I'm not sure that I've met anybody who hasn't liked Malachita Vyashkotolka, honestly. Maybe not as much as me or Malachite Jen. But it is delicious. 771 blah blah. Thanks for being here. Hi there. Oh, and Robin says, yes, Boca is a yellow micro-dwarf. Thank you. Well, now that's going to make me want to have seeds fall into soil. For those of you that you want to take part in Micropalooza, you haven't planted yet, guess what? We started 2 months earlier this year than last year. Last year, we didn't start until November 1st. So whether you started on September 1st or not, it's an ongoing thing. I was telling Kina and Jen that I've kind of neglected a lot of my micros that I started around the 1st of September because I've been very busy, and then I was kind of making sure that my own crosses were doing well. So I may have to restart a few of them. But that's no big deal. Maybe succession plant, but I think I may have to start Boca. Thank you very much for that good review. Now I'm going to have to. I've heard of it for a long time, and nobody's ever really said it was anything special to me. I don't know if you know Cindy C. You may want to let her know. I'm going to try to remember to let her know too. It's funny, she just asked me about it the other day. Satya says, Malin harvested my first malachite box. Oh yeah? She growing it for you, Satya? 771 blah blah. Does the Bigfoot mycorrhizae work well? Yes. That is my new favorite fertilizer slash mycorrhizae fungi. It's a brand called Bigfoot. I'll pull it up on. Actually, I have a bag. Hang on. Here it is. I've talked about these many times. Of course, I have them right handy, right? This one is a granular, so you can put that in the hole directly on the roots of your plants. This one is a water soluble, so you can put it in, mix it in with water and use it as a fertilizer. It's great for micro-dwarfs, I'm finding. The reason why it's different for me, and I found it very much by accident. It was on sale on Amazon many months ago. I bought it because mycorrhizal fungi is not inexpensive. I didn't realize it was more than mycorrhizal fungi. It's got a lot of other biostimulants in it. Humic acid. What's the other one I'm trying to think of? Biochar. It's got biochar, worm castings. So a lot of the things that I like to use in the hole with my plants already is all mixed in with the mycorrhizal fungi. I love it. I love it. So you can start with a little bag. A little goes a long way. You don't want the water soluble to use directly on roots. You'll want the granular. And Bigfoot people, if you want an endorsement, I'm your girl. Is that the American Root Company out of Oregon? They say it's a symbiotic bond. It bonds with plant roots, creating a microbial web. It accesses and absorbs water and vital nutrients. I only started using mycorrhizal fungi last season for the first time, and I've noticed a very big difference between that. You know, I put it in the hole when I up pot micros. I put it in the hole when I put regular plants in the ground. I put it in the hole. Its stuff is fantastic. So I can never answer a question with a yes or a no, can I? But yes, I love it. Kathy Woodworth is here. Hey, Kathy. Satya, my Cherokee purple is actually black crim. Good to know, thanks to Craig's specific info on Tomato Talk. Isn't that interesting? He's shared that on the show a few times, but it is interesting because they look very, very similar. Oh, Sue, I've been thinking of you, Sue. If I need to PM you about something. If I forget, feel free to PM me because I have to talk to you about some seeds I think I owe you. And I was just logging just yesterday the amazing varieties you sent me from Russia. Thank you. They were great. Garden Girl, I absolutely loved the Cuore Antico di Ravenna that you gifted me. Cherry tomato that I got at our local library called Purple Dragon in Southeast Michigan Zone 6. Thank you, Garden Angel. I'm so glad you liked Cuore Antico di Ravenna. Boy, that was really productive for me, and they were beautiful. I almost put that on my list of things to talk about this year. It's otherwise known as Ancient Heart of Ravenna. I think I got my seeds from Secret Seed Cartel. I don't think they're all that difficult to find. Purple Dragon, I've not grown that. Now I'm putting that. I've started to know that I need a notebook for my own show. Purple Dragon Cherry. And I'm going to write that down. Thank you, Garden Girl. I always love to hear when somebody likes the seeds I sent. Olivia's here. Hey there. Hi, Olivia. Glad you're here. I'm excited for Cherokee Purple Heart next year. I don't know that I have seeds for Cherokee Purple Heart. Sounds interesting. Sounds very interesting. I bet it would be good. How can I not know about Cherokee Purple Heart? Maybe I know about it and I just forget that I know about it. And thank you, Sandra. Like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Sadia, do you use the 1 gallon or the 2 gallon for the grow bags? mainly the 1 gallon. Though that what you just saw is a 1 gallon, but there are some varieties that I put in 2 gallons. I put Tiny Totem in 2 gallon. Really depends on the variety. Most micros do just fine in 1 gallon. I know Paws Pride, Heidi Dolan's new one, I put in a 2 gallon. You can kind of tell if they're like outgrowing the grow bag and they feel like they look like they could use more space. You can do 2 gallon, but or if I check on my spreadsheet and I see what the height's going to be, like more mini dwarf, like 12 inches and up, I'll do a 2 gallon. I've even done 3 gallon for mini dwarfs. We were talking a little bit in the group the last couple of days about a couple of varieties called Tutti Frutti, which I have. They're a hybrid variety. There's like Tutti Frutti Melon, Cherry, a whole bunch of them. They're hybrid cherries. And in the pictures from the company that breeds them, the genetics company called Prudak, they show it in these beautiful tin pots with like nice, branches and tons of tomatoes coming off. That's a lie. It is a mini dwarf, probably bordering more on dwarf. Grew it last winter indoors. It grew to be about 30 inches. It was a lot to handle indoors, but very delicious. So thank you for the grow bag link. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Let me try to catch up because I want to get to some tomatoes. Riverdale Gardens is here. Hey, Lauren, I'm glad you liked the pictures I sent of the tomatoes I grew from the seeds you sent. I did. Thank you. It really makes me feel good. It's like my little babies going out into the world. I love seeing pictures of my Bananas Noir from all over the world. I love seeing the Jarson one tricolor all over the place, but all of them, it makes me feel good. Not that I had anything to do with the breeding of anything but Bananas Noir, and even that was my friendly neighborhood pollinator. I just helped stabilize it. Although I did give to some of you the Coyote Cross seeds I've been working on for the past several years. So that's always nice to see how those grow out too. Samantha, there are benefits for leaving bean roots in the ground. That one I knew. That's nitrogen, right? I knew that for sure. And Marvin, I only worry about leaving roots if there were signs of a virus. I totally agree. I would never if there were signs of virus. The Rob tomato. Yes, there's a Rob tomato. It's not out yet. I think it might be an F4 or something like that. Tamira, but were all 3 Jarson 16s delicious? They were all delicious. I didn't rate them all exactly the same, though, from what I remember, and the bricks on them was a bit different. I think I liked the end of the season yellow bicolor turned out being my favorite of the 3, and then the purple and then the green. But delicious. I mean, the cross of that is Malachite Box and Cherokee Purple. So that was one of my most anticipated of the year, that's for sure. And I got them all the seeds from different places. So the purple one I got from Lux Tomatoes as a free gift. Had no idea. She didn't have a picture, so I had no idea what kind of color I was going to get. And even if, you get Jarson seeds from like me or Kina or Jen or somebody else who grew it, there's no saying that it's going to grow to be that look next year. Kazula, same thing. For me, it's part of the fun of it. Randy says, from MI Gardener, we are going to be launching all our 2025 seeds October 31st at 12 p.m. Thanks, Randy. Good to know. They've got good prices there. Karen, this is exactly what I was just talking about. The Tomato Eden Jarson 20 looks very different to the Jarson 20 I grew this year from seeds from Carolina's Paradise. Yep, for sure. I grew 2 Jarson 5s. I grew 2 Jarson 17s. I grew 2 Jarson 7s that couldn't look more different. A couple Jarson 9s. They just do. Sometimes they will tell you like what generation they are. like it's an F4 or whatever, but a lot of the vendors don't, so you don't really know what you're dealing with. For me, I mean, the looks of it, honestly, are what grabs me in the beginning to want to grow it, or knowing the cross. But part of the fun for me is seeing how they come out. Sathya says, my Jarson 10 from Carolina's Paradise is different from Tomato Eden. I'm still waiting for ripening to taste it. I'm trying to think of where I got my Jarson 10s. That was one of my favorite of the year, Jarson 10. Did I grow 2 of them? No, it's just one. I'm calling it Jarson 10 Tricolor. Thing was a masterpiece and tasted delicious. I can't remember where I got those seeds. I think that may have been from my Jarson Angel from Poland. Garden Girl, I lost you on live chat. Well, I hope I'm back now. And Kina says, I started this season with the micro-dwarfs and they are killing it. Yeah, Kina, Jen, and I have decided that micros do better in containers and they taste better indoors. We've made this proclamation, and the 3 of us completely agree. They just do. They just do. You would think the sun would make them taste better, but I had some Henry Harringtons that I grew outside that were very watery. When I grew it indoors last winter, they were delicious. Same with Vilma, which is my favorite, maybe not my favorite anymore. Paz Pride's pretty darn good. Zusa Louise is really, really good. They just do better inside. And they're not susceptible to disease. Let's see. Let me try to catch up here. Tanya says, I'm excited to grow Feenangle that I claimed in a game this week. I'm thinking that you might be referring to one of Cleverhoff's varieties. Yeah, they're really exciting if that's what you're talking about. But hey, any prize is exciting, right? Karen says, we loved the Carolina's Paradise Jarson 20, 2 slight variations, stripy shoulders, solid greenish shoulders. The solid shoulders was top tier. Did I grow Jarson 20? I didn't grow Jarson 20. Yes, I did. I grew Jarson 20 version 1, which was like a chocolate red. And then 22, which was these, I've talked about it before, these massive fruits, very prolific, with a brick score of 8.8 or 8.9. Like for a slicer, that's a big deal. For a large slicer, it's unheard of. That was fantastic, Jarson 22. I'm almost caught up. Robin says, I grew the Boca in an aero garden versus outdoors, and I agree micro indoors are better. Nice. All the more reason to participate in Micropalooza, gang. So if you don't know what Micropalooza is, it's really nothing you need to sign up for. It's simply just growing micro or mini dwarfs indoors. And if you want, you can report on the progress every Friday when I remember to put the post up. And it's just a way to enjoy tomatoes and growing and gardening in the middle of winter. Kina, I think of you every week, Kina. By the time I get to the tomatoes, Kina, hang around for the first one. You've got to hang around for the first one. If not, you can catch the recording tomorrow. Because my first one, I'm uber excited. I'm excited about all of them. So I've made, just within the past week or so, I've made some new friends, tomato friends, who've reached out to me from places all over the world, 3 that I can think of, but more than that. And I also have some seed angels that are just so kind. My friend James, Mike, I mean, there's Brian, there's so many of you, Sue, I don't want to give last names out, but that just send me seeds without being a trade, and it makes me feel great, and it also opens my eyes up to new varieties. This variety, and Kina, you probably know about it because you're Kina. I did not know about it until yesterday. It was somebody who contacted me from Germany, a new member, who heard that that malachite box or Malachito Vaya Shkatulka was my favorite tomato. That actually changed this year with Suffer Well inching it out, but might even be a tie. And he said, if you love that, and he loved it too, this one you have to try. Verde de las Landas. Who knows about this? Who's grown it? Because I'm obsessed with it. Absolutely obsessed with it. It is from Spain. I can tell just by looking at it that I'm going to love it. It's got the same coloring. Now, I know a lot of green when ripes have that same amber coloring on the outside, but it looks insane. He told me point blank, he said, you will love this maybe even more than Malachite box. Sign me up. Here's what I know about Verde de las Landas. Kina, you've got to tell me, if you're still here, you've got to tell me if you know about it. I'll get to more comments in a bit. My friend said it's better than Malachite. And then there's a site in Australia called Useful Seeds that sells it. They're the only place I've seen that sells it. They say it's a great new green when ripe tomato from Cantabria, Spain, medium-sized fruits on a large plant, and like all the green GWR or green when ripe tomatoes we've grown, outstanding taste, will become a regular in our garden. Kina, I hope you're here. You've got to talk to me. Knowing her, she's probably got seeds already. I don't better than Malachite box. That's what he said. And we talked a lot yesterday, actually, and we share the same. We seem to share the same palate. He likes really loud flavor. We share a lot of the same favorites, so that keeps my hopes up. Malachite Jen, I don't think you're on today because I haven't seen you comment, but this is one that we need to keep an eye out for. Verde de las Landas from Spain. Anybody grown it? Anybody? I did find a link. The only place I found that sells it, I mentioned, it's a place called Useful Seeds in Australia. They do ship to the United States. Let me put the link in the comments if I can. Oh, Erin. Okay, here's the link to Useful Seeds. I love GWRs. Me too. Me too. I feel like, oh, we have somebody that's grown it. Eva Lena Kangasma. I grow Verde de las Landas 2 years ago. I really love it. Tell us more. Did you was it one of your favorites? Was it just okay? Oh, and Deborah, you're very sweet. If they're only in Australia, I'll get some packets for you to share. Actually, my friend is sending me seeds, but I do appreciate it. Thank you very much, my friend. There's nothing else I can find out about it, but Useful Seeds. And I, of course, knowing that Useful Seeds does ship to the United States, they've got a lot of a couple unique long keepers or winter storage tomatoes on there. So I did place an order, but yes, my friend is sending me seeds. I do appreciate that, Deborah. So for those of you that like GWRs, perhaps look into Verde de las Landas. I guess Kina's gone. She'll have to find out tomorrow. I was going to tell you and Jen about it earlier, and I'm like, they can just see it in the episode. Looks absolutely gorgeous. Hey, Michael, glad you're here. Glad you're here. So that's tomato number 1. The next one is one that escaped my orbit until just a couple days ago. I was on Instagram, and I follow pretty much every tomato influencer. Jen says, yes, it does look yummy, doesn't it? It looks insane. and he had never reached out to me before. That this was the reason why he wanted to originally. So the fact that he like went out on a limb and said, "You've got to try this," I've got to think it's really good. But taste is subjective. We do share a lot of the same tastes, he and I, though. So I've got high hopes. It's now, I think, one of my top most anticipated of 2025. What was I going to say? Oh, so the next one I'm going to show you escaped my orbit completely. I think it's new, but not new like as of new this year. People were growing it last year. I had never heard about it. But I saw somebody on Instagram from Eastern Europe somewhere, I forget which account, who had this gorgeous picture of this gorgeous butterscotch looking deliciousness. And I had to look into it. And it's funny that I hadn't heard of it until 3 days ago, because just yesterday last night I was looking at the trade list of a friend who we've had a long-standing trade, and she actually has it. It's not easy to find. The variety is called Harsh Melon of the Volga Germans. Look at this tomato. This one hails from Germany, although a couple of the sites I've seen it listed on say it is from Russia. But when I was diving further, like maybe Russia put it out, but it does seem to originate in Germany. Here's what, and thank you. Whenever I borrow pictures from these sites, I should probably do a better job at thanking them, but I always do keep the watermarks up when I can. This one's from Tomat Inca. And I just loved the pictures on that. So thank you, Tomat Inca. This information I got from a site called melonuk.ru, so in Russia. The rarest variety of tomato, one of the most unusual in color tomatoes, an unusual combination of orange, brown, and dark caramel chocolate invariably causes surprise and delight. The taste and color of the tomato are such that it is worth hunting for in order to get it for your collection. The variety is stable, super productive. I keep hearing that from a couple sites. Super productive, and very interesting, grows well both in greenhouses and in open ground, one of our favorites. And then from another Russian site, alatomatiku.ru, says the most delicious tomato this season. An amazing rare heirloom variety preserved by a German family from the Volga colony. The variety is mid-season, indeterminate, and tall. The height of the bush is about 1.8 meters. The shape is flat, round, and heart-shaped with lush shoulders. Weights of the fruits are 250 to 400 grams. This is one of the most unusual tomatoes in color. An unusual combination of orange-brown with dark caramel chocolate causes surprise and delight. The taste is interesting. Little like a tomato, obviously unknown foreign vegetables took part in the selection of this variety. The taste is piquant with spicy notes. There is both sweetness and sourness, but they are weakly expressed and successfully emphasized the main taste. The delicate, juicy pulp simply melts in your mouth. The variety is resistant to diseases and storable. So this looks incredible. Jen says, all the tomatoes I've tasted that have coloring like this are scrumptious. They do, right? They are. Jarson 17, the two different ones I grew this year, were both that color. Sue, yes, I ordered it for next year. Every Eastern European tomato grower raves about them. I can't wait to grow them next year. I'm going to give you guys a link of a place you can order it in just a minute. Brianna, that is stunning. I know. Jamie says, oh my goodness, my ancestors are Volga Germans from what is now Ukraine. I must get these seeds. And Eva says, love tomatoes with a sweet and sour taste. So Verde de las Landas must be sown again next year. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I was only able to find it from one site. Thankfully, my new friend is sending me seeds, but You can order it from that site. Let me tell you. So, of course, when I saw the post on Instagram, the name is very cool too, I've got to say. And because I had, when you're on Instagram and it's in a different language, hopefully the translate section works well. So I'm like, is that entire thing the name of the tomatoes? So I Googled it and I found it at a site it's affiliated, same owner as Tomato Galaxy, which is in Latvia. And I'm going to put the link in the comments. It's called TOMATO AWESOMESAUCE. I just put it in the comments, hopefully. Here's the site. What he hasn't updated, it doesn't look like Tomato Galaxy yet, but his other site, this, has extraordinary varieties up there, including my obsession. One of my obsessions for next year, Sophia Sakova, who is responsible for some of the most glorious tomatoes, and I'm going to talk more about her in a minute. He has a ton of her stuff. You can also find her stuff at Tomato Eden and Grafsamina, but he's got a lot of the new stuff. But Harsh Melon of the Volga Germans, he said he had one left in stock the other day, so I ordered it. And then, of course, told Kina and Jen, and they placed orders. And then the next day he had more in stock, so you may want to keep checking if you want to order. But I have a feeling this is going to be on a lot of grow lists this year. Rooted in Texas says, love that color. And Nicole says, beautiful. And the color is different. I like it. The color and the shape. I grew Earth Angel this year. I grew the Jarson 17s, which were Butterscotch, Jarson 13 Ochre Pear is that color. I grew a number of things with that color, but not with this unique shape. This is interesting. Jen, you talking about this site takes me back to a fun evening with a couple friends. Yeah, we are bad influences on each other, but that was a very fun night. It's not in the comments, the link from Latvia. Let me try again. All right, I think I just put it up there. TOMATOAWESOMESAUCE. And he does ship to the United States. We have a lot of our vendors that we love are from Latvia, like Tomato Eden and Grafsamina, Lux Tomatoes, Tomato Galaxy. I've ordered from a number of times, and this is my first time ordering from this branch of his business. I'm not sure why he's got both, but it's a great site. Trust me, you will go down the rabbit hole. You're welcome, Satya. It's like barrel shaped. You're right, it is. So Harsh Melon of the Volga Germans. You never know what you're going to find on Instagram, and this one is right from Instagram. Excited for this one. Oh, thanks, Satya. Thank you very much. You guys are the best, which makes all of this so much fun. All right, this next one, I actually got a while ago, but I've mentioned before, like my entire desk is full of orders I have yet to log in my spreadsheet. And in the other room, I have an entire drawer full of trades of seeds that I have not logged onto my spreadsheet. And I always think I'll do it in the winter, but I didn't get to it last winter. I would be embarrassed to tell you how many seeds I think I have waiting for me to log. But it's a lot, more than any human being should have, unless you're going to do a seed bank or something. But I feel like I'm collecting for the ages. Kina, Jen, and I are doing that. So I logged it the other day. It came from Secret Seed Cartel. But I didn't, when I ordered it, I'm not sure. I mean, I ordered it last season. So I'm assuming I knew the story when I ordered it, which is what made me order it. But it's called Conair or Kurovo Conair. a red tomato, and where, up until this season, even though I grew red tomatoes, I wasn't getting excited about them because I had yet to have a red tomato, or red or pink, that just blew me away with loud flavor. So now I'm keeping a bit more of an open mind. Let me tell you about Conair and why it's special. First of all, it's listed in the Slow Food Foundation for Biodiversity. I mention that a lot. I tend to collect a lot of things, of course, but I tend to like to collect varieties of tomatoes and peppers that are listed on the Arc of Food listing. What they're about is basically trying to preserve varieties that are regional to places in not the United States, in the world, that they want to bring more attention to, preserve, make sure they're not extinct, or that have something special about them, a historical story and all that. So, of course, that makes me want to collect them even more. So Conair, or Corovo Conair, is listed on there. Secret Seed Cartel says it's widely known as a Bulgarian tomato, but according to Slow Food International, it may have had its origin in Istanbul, Turkey. It was added to the Arc of Taste of the Slow Food Foundation for Biodiversity in 2016. I want to read you what the Slow Taste of Slow Food Foundation says about it, because I want to do it justice and share the entire story. It says, according to the legend, the seeds of this tomato reached Bulgaria's Pazarnik plain directly from Tsarograd in Istanbul at the end of the 19th century, hidden in a walking stick by Alexander Dimitrov, a local celebrity who introduced various New World crops to the region, contributing to local horticultural development. Corovo Conair pink tomatoes are large, with each fruit reaching up to 300 to 500 grams. The skin, actually, before I read this, I'm going to put up the link. I think I put up the link for. Yes, I did. I've got the link to Secret Seed Cartel's listing of this variety for any of you who are interested. Okay, there's their listing. The skin is thin and smooth, and the fruits are meaty with a delicious flavor. The plants grow up to 2 meters tall and develop 2 or 3 fruits per inflorescence. The fruit is locally distinguished for its sweetness, and there's even a common saying, as sweet as a pink tomato. So I guess that came from here. Corovo Conair pink tomatoes are eaten raw, but are also well suited for processing into preserves like Iliutinitsa, made from tomatoes and peppers and famous all over Bulgaria. This is a semi-early ripening variety suited to production in the field or in greenhouses. The seeds are passed on from generation to generation. Collected from the best fruits, they are sown at the end of January and early February in Corovo Conair and the nearby villages of Novoselo, Joachim Gruevo, and Trivodici. Initially grown in kitchen gardens in the village of Corovo Conair, at the beginning of the 20th century, the tomato spread to a larger area and became one of the best-known cultivars on the market. Due to its characteristics and the artisanal production systems, this variety can cost up to 3 times as much as ordinary tomatoes. So some retailers began buying pink tomatoes from other places and selling them fraudulently as Corovo Conair pink tomatoes. Shifty. The local cultivar is also being threatened by the cultivation of foreign varieties that have higher yields and are better suited to transport. Well, that sounds familiar to what they do in America, for sure. Secret Seed Cartel says this was probably our favorite tomato of 2022. Amazingly beautiful tomato that reaches the coveted sandwich size. 1 slice covers your bread easily. Large and loud taste. Bing, bing, bing. Loud taste. Very sweet. The interior is a deep, dark pink that really doesn't need any salt. The texture is solid without being hard, so it holds up well on bread or tomato salad. It did very well with production in spite of our 3-month-long heat wave. Don't miss this one. Once sold out, it won't be back in rotation. And I think I missed a sentence that they actually have a festival in Bulgaria devoted to this tomato each year. Kind of similar to that Spanish tomato I talked about a few weeks ago, the LeHoullier, Espagne, Trace, Albacete, that whole thing that had a festival too. So let's hear. Has anybody grown this? What do you think? Do you have seeds? Nope, nobody's grown it. I think it was listed in Secret Seed Cartels. Like they have a section called collectors or collector varieties. It's listed there. And honestly, I think they're out of stock. I did not see if anybody else was selling it. But maybe they'll have it back in stock. Rooted in Texas says that's a good looking slicer. Drool. Yeah. Definitely keeping more of an open mind about pinks and reds now. This sounds great. And I had nothing but fantastic luck with Secret Seed Cartel varieties this year. I grew a number of theirs. They're true to seed. They're in France, by the way, but they do ship worldwide as far as I know. I love what they write. They're responsible for Nano's Meatball Dwarf, which many of us grew this year. It was one of my favorite. It's become one of my favorite tomatoes of all time. And I've got 2 plants growing indoors, trying to grow it indoors over the winter. Tamira says, looking at that tomato, I suddenly feel the need for a BLT. Yeah. The question is it as good as bacon, lettuce, and this? Because that was like next level for me. But I may try to grow this next year. Oh, Jen, I just mentioned you for something. Checking in briefly, just heard loud flavor and heat singing my song. Jen, you've got to watch back this one, Verde de las Landas. I have a new friend from Germany that says it's better than Malachite box. Totally thought of you. We have the same palette based on the types we like. So we need to grow this next year. Verde de las Landas. I even said, I think when I was showing it, need to tell Malachite and Harsh Melon of the Volga Germans. So yeah, loud flavor Conair or Corovo Conair. Have high hopes for it. Dee's Garden Adventure says, I can't wait to grow the BLT. Oh gosh, I just don't think you're going to be sorry. It's really fantastic. Really, really great. Okay, I mentioned a few minutes ago Sophia Sakova from Russia. She's responsible. Many of you grew like Sophia's Sweet Caramel this year. Tomato Eden has a bunch of her stuff. She's also responsible for, I think, Sigsgaard's Golden. She's got a lot of stuff out that you've probably seen. And I've become obsessed with her varieties. One of them is one that Bill Yoder grew this year, and he told me I must grow it this year. Jen says, what? No way, on the 2025 list. Yes. Way. Doesn't it look phenomenal? Let's just take a look again. I don't know. There's something about the looks of this. I just have high hopes. And I have no idea how I haven't heard about it until now. But it's new, apparently, and I can only find it at a vendor in Australia. Looks good. And I kind of trust his opinion we had a long talk yesterday, so I trust his opinion. Okay, so this variety that Bill actually sells it. He told me like three varieties he said I must grow that aren't his. So this next one I ordered from him, but it is available at many of the seed vendors we love. This is called Bliss, bred by Sophia Sakova from Russia. Bill said it is a must grow. And on her site, she's got do I have her site? I don't know if I wrote it down or not. Let me see. She's got her own site. She doesn't ship to the United States. She's in Russia. She can't really ship out of Russia. But I have been in touch with her. She's very, very nice. Rats, I didn't write down her site. If any of you want to see her site, I do have it, and I can certainly send you the link. If anything else, just for some eye candy, because her varieties are phenomenal. And it feels like my entire wish list has been populated by stuff I found from her on that site. Bliss. So I know some grew it last year. Here, this is what Sophia herself says about it on her site. It's a F5. She says, it's my favorite and my pride. Simply gorgeous tomato, tall of 1.8 meters, mid-season with long fruiting. Fruits are high, flat, round, very beautiful. What colors are not there? And burgundy and emerald and ochre and purple, and all this with a good amount of shimmers and glows like neon. Fruit weight from 200 to 500 grams. The taste is sweetest with fruity notes. Super. So that's what she says about her own. So between her saying this about, and she has a lot of tomatoes, so if this is her favorite, look at that interior. The top picture, top left, is from Bill Yoder. The other one is from Sophia herself. Look at that interior. That is a Lauren tomato. Antho on the top. I grew a few with antho on the top this year that didn't have that icky antho taste that I can't stand. So I'm keeping more open-minded about that. But this, as soon as Bill told me that, it went right on my 2025 grow list. Did anybody grow Bliss this year? Jen, we'll watch playback tonight as I pull everything out of the garden. Hard frost tonight. We were talking about that at the beginning of the episode. So many of us. My first frost warning was 3 nights ago, and then we had it the next night. Didn't get a frost, but we finally got a light frost last night. Plants are still alive, but I did pick everything. Deb, this is a Deb tomato too. Ooh, hello, Bliss. I'm pretty sure Tomato Eden has it. I'm pretty sure she has it. Yeah, we're so much alike, Jen. Bliss is on my 2025 list. The antho shoulder scares me a little, though. I know. Me too. I'm trying to think. There were a number of things that I grew with antho on the shoulders this year that I didn't taste it at all. The only one I tasted it on was Seven Rivers Tricolor. Had I known it had the antho on the shoulders, I never would have grown it. It just, even not in the antho section, it tasted icky. But a lot of the antho micros, I don't taste. It's got a soapy taste to me. VD21, otherwise known as Malachite Elf, did not have that taste. And then Grafsamina's Jarson 1 Striped Heart, which I'm starting to wonder if it wasn't crossed, because that's got antho on the shoulders and nothing in that. Bill Yoder pointed it out, Kina pointed it out, and they're right for Copia and Kazula 25 to result in a striped heart with antho. It almost leads me to believe that perhaps it got accidentally crossed. But whatever it was, it is delicious. And that didn't have the antho flavor either. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed on that one. Lisa Lloyd says, I ordered this from him for next year. Love the look of Bliss. Me too. Bliss looks amazing. Darla, I was going to mention you a few minutes ago when, I don't know if you just joined us or have been listening for a while, but when somebody else, Secret Seed Cartel? One of the things I read said loud flavor, and I'm like, Darla invented that. You can't steal that. Jerry says, wow. These wrapping tomatoes and 1 squash, no freeze, just in the 40s overnight. And Francis says, good luck wrapping. Francis says, Deb, you make me laugh. Deb's great. I have Bliss, but haven't grown it yet. And Karen, I have Bliss on Bill Yoder's recommendation. Looking forward to it in 2025. Did I put it on here? I meant to for today. Let me tell you the 3 that Bill told me I must grow for next year. Bliss, Cherry Stripes, and another one from Sophia Sakova, Victoria's Smile. Bill sells those all. also. So if you want to order from Bill Yoder, he sells other varieties also. So he told me those cannot be missed. So just you have to look at, I wonder if I can find the link really quickly. You have to look at Sophia's site. How can I find it easily? No, that's not it. Oh, I know how to find it. Okay, it's saminatomatoV.ru. Again, unless you're in Russia, you cannot order. I did check. You cannot. I'm going to put it in the comments. Oh, yes, Jen, thank you. I knew there was a fourth. Blackjack, that was the other one. Blackjack, he also recommended. I knew there was a fourth. Thank you. So what I just shared here is Sophia's direct website. She's not selling to anybody at the moment, but you can at least look at her varieties. Let me just show you something. This one's called All the Colors of the World. Of course, that's on my grow list. I mean, she's unstoppable. And you will know this is an F6, a cross of Pink Tulip and Xanadu Green Goddess. So she has a category. She sells other tomatoes too. She's got a section called My Selection. And these are all hers. Again, you can find a lot of them at Grafsamina, Tomato Eden. This one I'm dying for, White Heart of Sophia. An F5. I mean, and you may have seen as you're browsing through other sites that you see Sophia in the name of a lot of things. Cherry Stripes is hers too. So he picked, and I'm not even sure he knew that he picked 3 Sophia varieties, but Cherry Stripes is another one. I had seeds from Tomato Eden for that one. I mean, you will add Magic Rainbow. I mean, come on, look at, seriously, this woman is so talented. So talented. So be on the lookout for Sophia Sakova and her varieties. I believe Tomato Eden has an entire section devoted to her varieties. But if I were you and you're looking to order from Tomato Eden, I would wait because she is not done populating with new stuff. Trying to see if, I mean, there were so many. She's got 6 pages of her own stuff here. I just got this one from that site in Latvia I was telling you about. I was looking for this one for a while because I heard it was outstanding. Cardinal on Straw. So a lot of these you can find other places, but some you cannot. Maple Heart. It's a cross of maple syrup and Cardinal on Straw. Oh my gosh, you're killing me. All right, I could spend all day on here, but you want to check out her site just to check out what she does. If you didn't see the link in the comments, you can scroll up a little bit. Is she not amazing? Seriously. Okay. So let's get back to the variety. So that's Bliss. All right, what's next? All right, this next one is very, very interesting. Also came out of the conversation with my new friend from Germany. And I had heard of this tomato before. And I want to know, well, let me get to some comments. Oh, Eva, I'm sorry. I've missed so much because I was hospitalized. Back home now, feeling a little better. Oh, I'm so glad to hear you're feeling better. I'm sorry you were hospitalized. How do we order from Bill? Private message him. He takes, if you private message him, he will give you his email address and you can order from him. He's in the group if you need to find out how to private message him. He is in the group. growing her cherry syrup variety in 2025, says Kristen Butler. That looks good too. I mean, I don't know, between Bill's varieties, Sophia's varieties, some new Jarsons I'm getting. I said I was going to keep it simple next year. That's not going to happen. South Louisiana Mike says, I added it to our tomato list. Dang, list grows by the day. I know. Aaron says it's going to be impossible to choose what to grow next year. It's true. It's true. As much as I have such a soft spot for the heirloom varieties that go back centuries with great stories and all of that. The new ones coming out by breeders like Sophia and Jarson and Kazula, and Tatiana Nagel herself from Tomato Eden. She does some incredible breeding things. She's very humble, doesn't take credit for a lot of them, but she does. She and Sophia are actually good friends. Tamir says, also, stop it, Lauren. Every tomato on that site looks amazing. I know. Don't go to that site because it will torture you. Sandra, I'm gathering an order slowly, waiting to order. Yeah, I would wait. She's away for, I think, a couple days, but I know she's going to be adding for a while. Okay. So anyway, back to my conversation with my new German friend. He told me about the Verde de las Landas. He also mentioned a variety that I had heard about, I had looked at before. It's from Japan, and it is sold to gourmets. It is supposed to be one of the sweetest varieties ever. You cannot purchase seeds for this, especially not in the United States. And it's a hybrid. But it is worth mentioning because I kind of had forgotten that I learned about this variety until he brought it up yesterday. That variety, and you guys have to tell me if you've heard of it before you've researched. It's called Amila. It's a collaboration between Japan and Spain from Sun Farmer Iberica. It doesn't look like much, but let me tell you, this is supposed to have one of the highest brick scores of any tomato ever and high nutrition. I'm going to bring up, you can see the picture on the right shows how they sell them in these boxes. You can order them, not here, but you can order them. The picture I've got there on the left doesn't show, it's kind of small, but doesn't show the great amount of green seeds and goo in it. Have you guys heard of this? It's called Amila. I want to show you their website. That's a little bit of a better picture. So it's just very intriguing to me. And of course, I wanted seeds as soon as I heard about it. It says sweet and rich, nutritional value, strict standard. And then it starts with, is this really a tomato? Because of its full-bodied, rich and sweet taste, customers often think Amila is a fruit. Our goal is not only to make a good tomato, but also to touch your heart. Taste and see for yourself how special Amila is. And then it's got this whole nutritional breakdown of a typical tomato in gray versus Amila on the right. It's not GMO, but it is a hybrid. And here's what one of the websites says about it. You can find, if you Google Amila Japan or whatever, you will come up with information on it. It's won tons of awards. It was born in 1996 in Japan, where today is a tomato of great prestige and the market leader in tomatoes with a high Brix rating. Thanks to the cultivation method used, Amila has been able to reach degrees of sweetness higher than that of a common tomato. Amila means sweet in the Japanese dialect spoken in the city of Shizuoka. In the cultivation of Amila, the size of the crop is sacrificed in favor of taste and excellence. So I have no idea. I really should have looked at the currency conversion to see how much people are spending for a box of Amila. But I ran out of time. The production began in Japan almost 25 years ago after many experiments to get the perfect flavor. Its creators decided to seek an alliance with Spanish producers to cultivate it in Spain to take advantage of the benefits of the Mediterranean climate. Here's what my friend says. My friend got seeds, which obviously they're not F1 seeds. He grew F2, but said he's had both and they're just as delicious according to him. Super gourmet variety from Japan. It's a regular leaf plant producing pink, medium-sized round tomatoes. It's a Japanese connoisseur variety with a very high taste reputation. It has really intense, bold taste that is hard to beat. Just amazing. He said the only downside for me is that the flesh is a bit crunchy, which I guess makes sense if they're shipping it places. What else does it say on the website? It says a tomato that looks like all the rest but isn't. The simplicity hides an interior that will captivate you from the first bite. Has anybody else heard of Amila before? I definitely had. We've got a taker here. Amila is a commercial F1 that tastes very good and is therefore extremely expensive. Seeds are not available to consumers. Yes, I did know that. Thank you. I'm excited that you tasted it. Gosh, but I wouldn't love to taste the original F1. My friend is sending me F2 seeds, and I'm going to give it a shot. The inside is so pretty. I know. Honestly, it wouldn't look that great to me if it didn't have that green. That green goo gets me every time. Melon says, I grew Momotaro yellow and pink. It's hybrid from Japan. It tasted bland. I've heard Reika tastes like candy. It is also hybridized from Japan. Not aware of those. I had heard of the Amila before. Not sure why I had heard of it. I mean, I do tomato research all the time, so I guess it must have popped up at some point. They say, in general, tomatoes cannot accumulate sucrose. However, when cultivated using our know-how, Amila is obtained a tomato of intense aroma and flavor with a high Brix rating, high levels of nutrients and amino acids. It says, high quality of Amila makes an extraordinary, direct, and intense experience possible. So that's exciting. Always good to know what's going on in other parts of the world. Yes, Deborah, it's not Amelia. It is definitely not Amelia. It's Amila with it is copyrighted, as you can see from there. It is copyrighted. So I assume you can get them in Spain also, since they're a collaboration with Spain. But the picture here says premium grade fruit-like tomato. So very interesting. I know a lot of people have tried to save seeds from that Kumato tomato that's sold in the grocery stores here. In fact, I know a lot of people are saying it's stabilized and not a hybrid anymore. I'm not really sure. But I'm fortunate enough to be able to give this a shot and see how it is here on American soil and dehybridized a little bit. If my friend is watching, thank you very much. You added to a lot of my list this week. All right, so now we go back to stuff that has a good history. And this one I got from Tomato Revolution, which is in the UK. I think it was the first time I'd ordered from them. No, I ordered once before. Tomato Revolution from the UK. And they have a number of varieties that are exclusive to them, which is what made me want to order. Last year, Great Scott, which is a dwarf, was released from Craig and the Dwarf Tomato Project exclusively to Tomato Galaxy. We actually talked about that variety on our show on Friday. Mine grew out to be red, but I know somebody who's grew out to be yellow, and he said that shouldn't be the case. But it was a nice dwarf variety, and I'm sure seeds are more readily available now, but at least last year it was available exclusively to them. This is not one of them though, but I did want to get their exclusive things, and I ordered this one. And if you've ordered it, I want to hear all about it. It's called Folks. Looks like nothing, right? It's an indeterminate potato leaf, mid-season variety producing pink beefsteak fruits up to 1 pound. This historic unearthed heirloom variety was sent to Tomato Revolution by Craig LeHoullier, author of the popular Epic Tomatoes book. We know him. Seed was sent to Craig by Parker Smith, who was given seed by Donnie Folks of Tullahoma. Donnie's ancestors brought the seed with them from Germany to South Carolina many years ago. The flavor is intense and complex, and the center is juicy and dense. And then I Googled a little further, and I got Craig's thoughts on this variety, and I think this goes back to 2021. First ripe 87 days from transplant. He says he received seeds of this tomato from a fellow named Parker Smith. He received the variety from his friend Donnie Folks from Tullahoma, Tennessee. The tomato originated from Donnie's family, and the journey was Europe to South Carolina and Athens, Alabama. This tomato had a growth habit, fruit size, shape, and color very similar to that of Aunt Gladys. I don't really know Aunt Gladys. And if you've grown this, please shout out. I would love to hear your thoughts. The vigorous, heavy-yielding potato leaf plant produced small, oblate pink fruit, a few of which reached 1 pound. The flavor varied a bit, and I found it a bit mild for my taste buds and rated it a 7. Some fruit had small dark lines or areas in the flesh that detracted from the quality. I'm on the fence for what happens next for this, and will know more once I re-examine the info that accompanied the seeds. Again, it is reminiscent of German Johnson in flavor. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure he wrote this in 2021, so I don't know what has changed, but apparently it's enough to release it to Tomato Revolution. I'm not a huge fan of what he says about mild flavor. I think I missed that part. But German Johnson was a good tomato. A lot of people love German Johnson, so if you like that, maybe you want to give Folks a try. Marvin, harsh melon of the Volga, Germans. Are you answering a question to somebody? It looks like a great one, right? I'm excited for that. So that's Folks, and you can get that from Tomato Revolution. Do I have the site? Let me see. Yes, I do. I'll put it in the comments. Six o'clock already. Where does the time go? So I guess nobody's grown Folks. Okay, I just put the link to this one in there, and you may want to check out their other offerings. I have several that I got from them. Actually, it's kind of a small order for me, but some are exclusive to Tomato Revolution, which is why I needed to have it. I think Dingo Eye is one of them. This one definitely is Irma's Highland. I think Kip's Stripes is one of them. And there's a couple here I'd like to feature on future episodes. So, yeah, nice packaging from Tomato Revolution. Shipping from the UK here to the United States was pretty quick. Under 2 weeks, I want to say. So, yeah, good vendor. Okay, what's next? All right, so now we're getting into ones I've actually grown. I've got 3 that I've talked about before, but not in the official like end of season write up. So I want to do that. Yes, I'm seeing people write in hashtag tomato. Please do hashtag tomato because we'll have a giveaway at the end of the episode. Sandra says, I need to split my tomato links into US versus overseas. I can't see all of my links. Hashtag tomato problems. But is it really that big of a problem? it's possible mine aren't all coming through, but easy enough to Google. And if you really can't find them, just private message me and I'll send it to them. Sorry, I was thinking out loud, she says. No problem. But yeah, it's there. Harley is right. Or Harley. There's a lot of tomato problems out there. Okay, so this one's been talked about a lot in Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap recently. Kina had posted a gorgeous picture of she posted like a post of her favorite pictures of the year. And the interior of this one just blew everybody away. And I also grew it. I meant to talk about it last week, and gosh, I feel like it's like deja vu. Excuse me if I did talk about it last week. I did put a review up in the group and on my Instagram, but I don't think I talked about it on the show. I have before, though. This is called, now I'm getting deja vu. Did I talk about this last week? I just wanted to bring it up because so many of you are like, what is that cherry tomato? Look at that interior. Gorgeous. It's called Terracotta Cherry. And Kina and I, and maybe some of you out there, were fortunate enough to get seeds for this from Heirloom Seed House. He had it up for sale. I don't know for how long, but not long. And then he took it down, and when I got them in stock and I went to put them on my spreadsheet, I was looking all over like, I know I'm not crazy. I just ordered this for him. No pictures, no write-up, nothing. So I reached out to Evan Gregoire, and he told me about this variety. And he said he removed it because he wasn't sure if it was stable or not and didn't know if he had enough seeds. But Kina and I both grew it. I know Jen grew it too, because I'm pretty sure I remember seeing your picture, Jen. This was one of my first cherries to ripen and one of my last to sap. I bet I could go out there now and I bet there's fruit on there. And that interior is just unbelievable. Nice and sweet. It had a brick score of 7.7. We gave it a 7 out of 10. Fruits were orangey tan with an exceptional interior that knocked my socks off. Skin was a tad bit crunchy. Didn't hinder from my enjoyment of the cherry. Larger sized fruit. It didn't start off productive, but became more so as the season went on. I really enjoyed this one. Not available for sale, as far as I know, at this writing. When I asked Evan about it, he said it was a selection of theirs. He's running super low, so I pulled it for the season to regrow. Super sweet, has some color variation still in the light orange to copper to the terracotta range. Keenan and mine, I think they look exactly the same, and we didn't share the same seed stock. Jen, I think, maybe got seeds from me, or maybe it was a plant for me. I don't remember, but I don't know how stable it is, but at least between Kina and I, they were stable. And it's a really beautiful, very productive and delicious cherry. So if you're looking for something unique, that interior and Kina's interior shots are even better than mine. Just absolutely fantastic. Seeds are from me. Good to know. So we had the same seed stock. Jen says, ran outside for a quick minute. Peppers are undercover. Wish me luck. Good luck, buddy. I bet you're okay. I bet if there's a frost, it won't be a hard frost. And then Jen said, this was a very unique cherry I grew this year. You liked it too, right, Jen? I'm pretty sure the three of us all liked it. Melon says, ugh, looks yummy. Yeah. If I don't think you'll find it anywhere for sale yet, but this is if you're interested, this would be a good place to put it in your Seed Seeking Saturday post or your Most Wanted post if you're interested in seeds. I think I did give seeds to a few vendors, but I don't think they grew it this year. And maybe Evan's bringing it back too. I'm not really sure. I spoke with him the other day asking when he was going to reveal his new varieties for the year, and he's still a few weeks off. I didn't ask him about this one specifically. And Jen says she did like it. And she did like it. Am I missing anything? So back to Amila. F2 is very variable in taste and crack, so plant enough F2 tomatoes to find the best. I might do 2. We'll see. We'll see how much room I have. It's just fun trying it out. And my friend who's giving it to me just had the greatest of luck. I can't really say too much more, but he has a good source. So thank you. I saw a message come in from you just a couple minutes ago, and I thank you. You've really, I'm very grateful for our new friendship. Eva says they kind of look like sun gold, but do they taste better than sun gold? They're very different. They're not as sweet as sun gold, and they do look like sun gold except for the interior. Size, exterior color, exactly the same. Evan had told me some of the out fruits sometimes look pink. Kina, Jen, and I did not find that. It's hard if you're looking for a super sweet cherry, it's kind of hard to match sun gold, but they were really delicious, really delicious. Was it one of my favorite cherries of the year? I had some great cherries this year. Pixie Fire, Carl's Emsland Traube, You Can't, You Won't, You Don't Stop. Oh my gosh, is that a great cherry? Black Hole Sun, Reinhard Crafts Purple Sugar Cherry. I mean, I had really great cherries this year, really. And then my Coyote crosses, which I was able to grow 2 generations out of each one this year. Wiley Sweet Cherry and Roadrunner are both super sweet too. I've got high hopes for those. Not sure what you're talking about, Sandra, but it looks like you might be talking to somebody else. I see myself being overrun by tomatoes. We're running away from tomatoes. It's a toss-up. Yeah. You can run, but you can't hide. They get you in their grips. That's for sure. Oh yeah, I forgot you grew Roadrunner, Jen. Formerly known as Strawberry Coyote because of its pink exterior, this grow out was actually a golden yellow with antho at the top. So Kina actually named it Roadrunner, and I was able to grow it out to, I think, an F4 and F5 this year. Thankfully, that variety ripens early, so I was able to get 2 generations out of both of those. Harley says, I wish we could figure out Sun Gold's parents to make our own seeds. Ugh. Yeah, never find that one out. But, and I don't know if I think you've been on since the beginning, Harley. Email Craig LeHoullier. Get your hands on those seeds for the cross of Sun Gold and Captain Lucky. Trust me. I mean, what do I know? What do I know? I know nothing. I don't know how the cross is going to be. I just know that Captain Lucky is phenomenal and Sun Gold is very, very sweet. I still say it's not my favorite cherry. I've found like a lot of the cherries I grew this year are better for me, but a lot of people, I mean, you can't deny the sweetness of that thing. Roadrunner is one of my Coyote crosses. So I had some crosses of my favorite cherry Coyote that accidentally crossed several years ago, a few years ago, and that I'm working on stabilized. Wiley Sweet Cherry is like a rosy pink, kind of the same, a little bigger than Coyote, that I've been stabilizing for 1 year longer. And then Roadrunner is a yellow with antho at the top without the antho taste that I'm stabilizing. I got rid of a few of the ones I was stabilizing this year because they were good but not great. These 2 are great. I've given seeds to a few of you, I know, but they're not stable yet. Harley says, what? I don't have enough courage to message him. I still haven't messaged Jen Joy about a trade. I would so love to try that cross from him. Maybe one day on your live with him, I'll just ask. Harley, maybe you missed in the beginning of the episode. He was on Tomato Talk Live with Jen and I last week. He put it out just to members of TLC. He wants us all to grow it out. He gave his email address. He wants us all to email him, anybody who's interested. So if you go on his website, CraigLeHoullier.com, thank you to whoever reminded me of that, you can get his email address. Believe me, everybody inundated him with emails. And honestly, that's what he wants. He said he doesn't have an alliance with any other group, which made Kina, Jen, and I feel really great. But he knows that we all respect tomatoes very well, and he wants help and offered it to all of us. So believe me, if you've ever seen him on one of our episodes, you know there's nothing to be nervous about. Although I have a cute story for those that may not know it. Jen and I, of course, he was like our big get when we started Tomato Talk Live. Like, who could you have that would be like your ultimate? Craig LeHoullier, of course. But he seemed unattainable. I mean, he wrote the book, The Dwarf Tomato Project. So one day I just got up through his website. I just got up the courage to write him and told him about me and the group. He's not on Facebook. He is on Instagram. Just got up the courage to just talk about the show and what I do with Jen. And it was after one of our lives, like at the beginning of the year, I think. It was after the show when we were talking, me, Jen, and Michael, our producer, Michael Kelly. We were talking. All of a sudden, I see a notification come in. It's an email from Craig. And I was so nervous. I was so nervous writing it. So I read it out loud. The three of us all experienced it together, where he was like, I would love to come on. I think it's amazing what you're doing. Like, remember that, Jen? It was a good day. It was a good day. Oh, and yeah, don't worry about messaging Jen either. What the heck, Harley? Come on, message me. I want you to. I'd love to trade with you. Jen's just about as accessible, authentic, and genuine as you can get to. But I remember when I first met Jen too, I remember being a little nervous to message her. I wanted her to come on a show I was doing for my other group and talk about gardening. And I remember being really nervous, which is fun now because we're like besties. But you have nothing to worry about, Harley. No worry, swamp bitch. Harley, if you don't, I'm going to email him your address. You have to. Believe me, he's just the loveliest guy. Still fangirling, but I took a stab at it. Can't hurt, right? Do you mean about Craig's? Oh, believe me, I'm still fangirling too, but there's no stab to be taken. He will send you the seeds. Jen says he's still number one every time we can get him on. It's unreal every time. I adore him. Agreed. Danielle says email him. You won't regret it. And Jen says there was a lot of screaming. We were. The three of us were like this. It's a great moment. And now, now we're friends with Craig, good friends with Craig. And he's just, I said at the beginning of the episode, I say it all the time ad nauseum, but if you can have a king of the tomato world, he's a great one to have, because he has no ego, or if he does, it's not detectable. I know several breeders whose egos are like, and they think, it's just tomatoes. It's just tomatoes. Why can't we? It's supposed to be fun, right? So, yeah, we should just make him a permanent guest on our show. But no, because we've got Bill Yoder's coming on in the future, and Jen and I have a couple other ideas of some non-ego breeders that we would like to have on, and an Instagram influencer that I'm looking at also. Oh, Jen, now we're having a love fest. Are you kidding me? That's crazy, Lauren. I was so nervous about being a disappointment on your show. I almost made up an excuse as to why I couldn't do your show. Oh, that was your first live, I remember. Oh, you're so sweet. You did a great job. I'm proud of you for doing that. I know it was a big thing for you, but our members loved it. I should post that in the group, actually. I should post that episode in the group so people can see it. Can never get enough Jen joy. All right, so that's Terracotta Cherry. Let's finish up here. We've got two more that I've talked about before, but sometimes I'll do a review at the beginning of the season that maybe changes a little bit by the end of the season, usually for the better. And I shared, I think, last week that for next year, I'm going to remember to not do a permanent review or dead set review initially. I'm going to wait a little bit. There were a number of things that I liked much better as the season went on. this baby, Butterscotch Stripes. These seeds came from Bounty Hunter Seeds. I don't know if I think he has them in stock again. He had run out last season when I was sharing them in my 2024 grow list. Let me tell you about this variety. This is another one that has that ochre interior with like these green stripes. It's just beautiful. Brix was 4.5. We gave it an 8.5 out of 10, which is a phenomenal review from us. It was early to ripen, and I just picked last fruits only because I had to. I wrote excellent tomato, very productive, grown in the ground, gorgeous striped fruits with a unique butterscotch color. The flavor is wonderful, lots of seeds and goo, and with a sweet and umami flavor that I loved. Very intense flavor, a winner for sure. I wasn't expecting that. While I like things with ochre color, I haven't found, I'm trying to think, I haven't found anything with like really intense flavor from the ochre. Have I? Oh, I really like dwarf ochre heart this year. That was very sweet. This one I also really, really love. They were all good. Jarson 17s, Earth Angel, Jarson 13 ochre pear, but this one was the best. The interior color is a showstopper, was an insane producer, and it was an insane producer. And it wasn't even, we used mushroom compost, but this was in our in-ground bed. The ones in our raised beds with all the mushroom compost just explode. So this was in our in-ground bed and still was an amazing producer. What else? Lasted right through the end of September. And I'm going to change that because I just picked a couple more the other day. So October, definitely a winner. Bounty Hunter Seeds, this is what he says. They're from Dean Slater. It was a cross that Dean Slater of Michigan did. These came out of his Shadow Dancer cross. There will probably be variants of these tomatoes because we are not sure of the stability. We planted a few plants. This was the only one that was different. So we made sure we saved the seeds separate from the Shadow Dancer tomato. These tomatoes have a gorgeous butterscotch coloring to them, along with green stripes. And they're indeterminate. So mine obviously matched what Sean at Bounty Hunter had shared. Did I get the link to that one? No, I didn't. But go to bountyhunterseeds.com. Sean, he's in the group. He's under Pat Broadmerkle because somebody last year or 2 years ago hacked into his own account. So he uses his mom's account. Her name's Pat, but it's really Sean. Great guy. And we were talking just a couple days ago. He's in the process of uploading all his new ones. So I told him once he's all done to let me know, and we'll put out like an announcement in the group. But he's got great seeds, great prices, and this was a total winner. Did anybody else grow Butterscotch Stripes this year? Marvin says, all the late season huge slicer varieties make me jealous of the northern climates you and Jen are located. Ugh, our heat and humidity make anything past July almost impossible. But can you do fall varieties, Marvin? I know a lot of friends I have in like Florida, they'll stop like in July, but then they'll start new ones to have to put at the end of the season. I don't know if you're able to do that or not. Oh my goodness. I gave Heidi a plant. I forgot about that. Did that one survive? Really, really loved it. Great producer. So that's Butterscotch Stripes. I would imagine Sean should definitely have them back in stock soon, if not already. And then my last one. I've talked about this a lot. This is one of my favorites of the year and maybe all time. Bogater Ilusa from Russia. I don't even know where to begin on this. The Brix was a 5.7. These had really unique shapes to them, kind of like, sort of like blunt hearts, but some were like that variety Cuban salami. And look at that interior, kills me. why do I feel like I've just talked about this recently? Am I repeating the same varieties over and over? I'm keeping a chart of what I do, but I feel like I just showed a picture of this recently. But it bears repeating. And God, I was just talking about this recently. Oh, well, you can hear about it again. It's a good one. You can find seeds for this at many places. Grafsamina. I got my seeds from Lux Tomatoes. I think Tomato Eden has it. Maybe Carolina's Paradise also. Let's see what I wrote about it. I did do a review on Instagram. Did I mention we gave it a 9 out of 10? That's a pretty darn good review. I said it's a new OMG variety for us. I'm not sure I even need words to accompany these pictures. They kind of speak for themselves. I'm always on the lookout for these loud flavored dark varieties, but we are finding that just because they look like they have a lot of flavor doesn't mean they necessarily do. But let me just tell you, Bogater Ilusa is to die for if you like intense flavored varieties like Rob and I do. As you can see, you slice it open and it has a deep red interior with interspersed pockets of the precious seeds and goo I love so much. It was so inviting to us as we love that intense color in the center of tomatoes. In fact, I can't stand when I see pictures of varieties when they don't show the interior because to me, that's where the magic is. And let me tell you, Bogater Ilusa is magic. It was love at first bite for both of us. It was one of those OMG varieties that we taste, we savor, and we are silent for a moment until we can see it in each other's eyes and smiles appear on our faces. And I did share this review in the group a couple months ago. And I said to Rob, a 9 out of 10? And Rob said, at least. This tomato has it all for those who like those smack you mama flavors. If you prefer mild or low acid tomatoes, Bogater Ilusa is not for you. It is exactly what I ache for when tasting a purple, deep, rich, intense tomatoey flavor with prominent tanginess and just enough sweetness to round it out. It tastes like a rich tomato sauce that has been simmering on low all day long, very concentrated flavors that are incredibly delicious. And as Rob said, it tastes as good as it looks. And then I ended it with, so if you think we have similar tastes and palates, you may want to look into this variety. Shouldn't be difficult to find. And I know for many of you that have won seeds from me, I owe you seeds for this. Let's see. Heidi says, I got saladette sized tomato last week. It was my last outside. I would imagine not in a green stalk. They would have been larger beefsteaks like mine, but I'm glad you got some fruits. Delicious. Oh, Marvin's got important information. The Amila tomato, $68 a dozen. Looks 3 ounces or so, maybe 4 ounces. Let's go back to that picture. Here it is. Yeah, they don't look big. $68 a dozen. Let me tell you, if they sold them here in the United States, I'd buy it. I would. Just to taste. Heidi, it reminds me of those strawberries. Those strawberries that you showed me about that are being produced locally. Yeah, it would be a one-time only thing that I would have to taste. I would have to. $68 a dozen. Marvin says, the Japanese are the most secretive of technologies, electronics, high-quality steels, ag technologies. Yep, that's why Sun Gold, the formula for that will never come out. So that's it. So let me go back for anybody just joining. What we talked about today, this is the one that's really just making me dream of next year already. Verde de las Landas. Thank you to my friend. Harsh Melon of the Volga Germans. Super excited for that too. Conair, which you can get from Secret Seed Cartel or Kurovo Conair. Bliss from Sophia Sakova. I am her latest stalker. Sophia, brilliant breeder. The Amila from Japan and Spain. Fuchs, which is available at Tomato Revolution. Terracotta Cherry, right now not available for sale anywhere. Butterscotch Stripes from Bounty Hunter Seeds. And Bogater Ilusa. So there you go. One Wolf wants to know if anybody's grown broody hen tomatoes. I feel like Jen has. And Karen, I have seeds for Bogater Ilusa based on your review that got them from Tomato Eden. I'm so glad. I don't think I'm steering you wrong on this one. It was delicious. Wasn't productive in the beginning of the season, but turned out to be at the end. I loved the feel, like the shape of them was so cool too. But yeah, as soon as I sliced into it, that green gel gets me every time. That's why those Amila look so great too. So yeah, that's it. So let's get our giveaway tool up here. Hopefully everybody's put in #tomato. All right. So let's see, what are we going to give away today? If you win, private message me or email me. Let me put my email address in here. In case you're not on Facebook. And if you're not on Facebook, you should be, just to join our group. So I'm going to draw 5 names. If you win, private message is best, but you can email me too. Here's my email address. I'll put it up again in a minute. Actually, I can do this. Okay, make me smaller. EV Mux has a lot of great things you can do. I just have to figure out how to do it. And then we can talk about things I may have to give you from today's episode, or perhaps things I can give you from past episodes that you've been eyeing. So we can talk. Okay, let's get this going. So here's the first one. Can you guys see that? I won myself. That's because, I'll be honest, this particular tool you don't have to write #tomato as much as I want it to. It's anybody who comments is automatically entered. I'm working on the StreamYard or the EvMux giveaway tool. So because I commented, I can't believe out of all these people, I won. All right, so we're going to remove Mr. and Mrs. Tomato Head and try that again. Hey, Sandra B., can you put your name in again? I think I accidentally removed you. Meyerway. Congratulations, Meyerway. Or at least just do a comment. I think I accidentally removed you, and I apologize. I wonder, can I add you myself? Yes, I can. Oh, no. No. I can't. Sorry about that. All right, next one. Hoping to get a giveaway tool at... Oh, Swamp Bitch. Harley. Congratulations. I think adding too many things I owe you and your fiance. Okay, next one. Move that. Number 3. Am I showing this? I am showing this, right? Yes, I am. Okay. Garden Cat. Congratulations, Garden Cat. Okay, number 4. Jerry Grady. Congratulations, Jerry. And if you have things in mind that you know you would like, you can just write that in the email or private message to me. And the last one. Green Thumb Gardener, 65. Congratulations. Congrats, everybody. Thanks for bearing with me through all of my giveaway troubles. but at least we have that as an option. So thanks for watching. Hope, hang on, let me get here. Hope I added to your grow list, or at least, got you thinking about certain things. That Amila is something pretty special. I have to wonder if they'll be coming out with something in the United States like that, not a non-GMO thing, but something that's just bred for that flavor. If anybody's going to Japan and Spain, maybe you can find it somewhere in a store. Wish you could buy just one, right? And is it really that good? I don't know. For that price, it must be. I'm sure they sell to a lot of restaurants. So thanks, everybody, for watching, bearing with me through the past 2.5 hours. Regarding Broody Hen. No, I haven't yet. I have the seeds for 3 varieties. Satya says Shannon McNulty has grown it, so maybe you want to reach out to Shannon. Oh, Rowena's grown it also. And Kim L has grown it. Yeah, you're the winner. I know. Woohoo! Get my own seeds. They're just congratulating me. I can't believe out of all those, I cheated. I know. It's annoying to me that, like, I can't specify. It's got to be #tomato. You're welcome, 771, blah, blah. I'm glad you guys joined me. It's a lot of fun. Cynthia. Hey, Cynthia. Glad you're here. Nice to see you. I owe seeds to Beatrice. I meant to message you the other day. I need to get your address. Thanks for watching. Join our group if you haven't already, Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. And I will see you next time, gang. Peace and love. Get your gratitude on and go grow tomatoes. Bye, everybody. Have a great week.